I want you to think about something for a moment. Think about the years you cannot get back. The relationship that took 5 years and left you empty. The career path you spent a decade on before realizing it was never yours. The addiction that stole your 20s. The depression that made your 30s feel like survival instead of living. The wrong decisions, the wasted opportunities. The seasons you look back on and think, what was I doing? What did I lose? Who would I be if I had not wasted all of that time? I want to say something to that version of you, the one sitting in the grief of lost years. Those years are not what you think they are, and by the end of this video, you will never call them wasted again. Stay with me, because there is a verse in the Old Testament, written by a prophet named Joel, that contains one of the most breathtaking promises God has ever made to a broken people. A promise so specific, so targeted, so personal, that when I first read it in context, I had to put my Bible down and sit in silence. Because it was not written for perfect people with clean records. It was written for people who had lost everything and believed they would never recover. To understand Joel 2:25, you have to understand what had just happened to the people of Israel. A plague of locusts had destroyed everything, not metaphorically, literally. Fields that had taken years to cultivate, stripped bare overnight. Crops that were supposed to feed families, gone. A harvest that represented years of labor, eaten in hours. Joel chapter 1 describes it as a disaster unlike anything their generation had ever seen. What the locust swarm has left, the great locusts have eaten. What the great locusts have left, the young locusts have eaten. What the young locusts have left, other locusts have eaten. Layer after layer, loss after loss. And the people of Israel sat in the ruins of what used to be their lives and mourned. They did not just lose crops. They lost time, they lost labor, they lost the years they invested. And I want to stop here because I need you to feel the weight of what they lost before I show you what God said next. Because the weight you feel about your own lost years is the same weight they were carrying. Real loss, real grief, real time that could not be undone. And then God spoke. And what he said was not what they expected. He did not say, learn from it and move on. He did not say, it was your fault. Now rebuild from scratch. He said something that should be impossible, something that defies every law of time and logic. And yet, it is a promise from the mouth of God. Joel 2:25. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, my great army which I sent among you. Read that again slowly. I will restore the years, not the crops, the years. God was not just promising a new harvest. He was promising to restore the time itself, the investment of those years, the fruit that should have come from those years, the life that was supposed to grow during those years, all of it restored. This is one of the most radical promises in Scripture. Because time is the one thing we believe cannot be undone. You can replace money. You can rebuild relationships. You can restore health. But you cannot get back time, or so we think. Because God, who exists outside of time, does not operate under the same limitations we do. And when he says, I will restore the years, he does not mean he will give you a second chance to live them again. He means he will bring into your future the fruit that your past was supposed to produce. Not a lesser version, the full harvest. From a gardener who wastes nothing, the woman who lost her 20s to an abusive relationship will find in her 30s a depth of wisdom, empathy, and strength that women who had easy 20s will spend decades trying to learn. The man who lost a decade to addiction will find in his recovery a credibility and compassion for broken people that no seminary could have given him. The years are not wasted. They are in the hands of a God who specializes in restoration. But I want to take you to a story, because Joel 2:25 is a promise. But what I am about to show you is that promise in action. A man who lost 13 years, not a season, not a rough patch, 13 years of slavery, betrayal, and imprisonment for something he did not do. And what God did with those 13 years will change how you see every year you have ever called wasted. Before I tell you his story, if you are watching this and you have years you are grieving right now, type "Restore my years" in the comments. Just those 3 words, because I believe that prayer typed in a comment section is still a prayer, and I want you to know God sees it. Now let me show you what he does with years like yours. Genesis 37. Joseph, 17 years old, his father's favorite son, a dreamer, thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, taken to Egypt, and then falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, and thrown into prison. 13 years, from the pit to the palace, 13 years passed. 13 years of what looked like wasted potential. A boy with God-given dreams, rotting in a prison cell for crimes he did not commit. Scripture does not tell us what Joseph felt in those 13 years. But if he was human, and he was, I wonder what years 3, 5, 8, 10 would have sounded like. Year 3. I still believe God has a plan. Year 7. I am starting to wonder. Year 10. Did I dream that? Was any of it real? Year 13. Silence. And then, Genesis 41. In a single conversation, Pharaoh summoned Joseph from the prison. In a single day, Joseph went from prisoner to second in command of all Egypt. And what happened next is the restoration of Joel 2:25 in living color. Everything those 13 years taught him, the patience, the administration skills he learned serving Potiphar, the leadership he developed running the prison, the ability to interpret and communicate, all of it became the exact skill set Egypt needed to survive 7 years of famine. God did not waste a single day of those 13 years. He was using every one of them to prepare Joseph for a role so significant that it would save an entire nation. And Genesis 50:20, Joseph said to his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." The years they tried to steal became the years God used to save nations. Your stolen years are in the same hands. Now I want to give you 3 signs that God is already restoring your years, even if you cannot see it yet. Because restoration does not always look like restoration while it is happening. It often looks like something else entirely. And the 3rd sign is the one that will reframe everything you are currently going through. Sign number 1, you are still here. This sounds simple. It is not. For every person watching this video who has years they call wasted, the fact that you are here, watching, still breathing, still asking questions, still reaching for something more, is evidence that your story is not over. Wasted years do not produce people who are still searching. They produce people who have given up. If you have not given up, God is not done. Lamentations 3:22-23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. New every morning, not new every decade, not new when you deserve it. Every morning, including this one. Sign number 2. Your painful years are producing empathy you did not have before. Pay attention to this. Who do you find yourself most drawn to help? The people who are exactly where you used to be, the ones in the addiction you escaped, the ones in the relationship you survived, the ones in the depression you crawled out of. That pull, that specific empathy, is not an accident. 2 Corinthians 1:4 says, God comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves received. Your painful years are becoming your credentials. For conversations you have not had yet, for people you have not met yet, for a purpose you cannot currently see. Sign number 3. And this is the one I want you to sit with. You are further along than you feel. This is the deception of wasted years. When we look back, we measure progress by what we do not have yet. But God measures progress differently. He measures it by who you are becoming. And the person who has walked through real loss, real failure, real years of darkness, is a different person than the one who never left the comfort zone. Romans 5:3-5 says, Suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. Character produces hope. You did not waste those years. You were building something that cannot be built any other way. And the God who restores the years the locusts have eaten has been watching every single one of those years, not with disappointment, with a plan. Let me close with this. After the locust plague, after the destruction, after the years of loss, Joel 2 does not end with restoration alone. It ends with something even greater. Joel 2:26-27. You will have plenty to eat until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed. God said this to people who had lost everything, whose neighbors had watched their fields turn to dust. And He says it to you too, about every year you have been ashamed of, not just restored, freed from the shame of the lost years. The years are being restored, the shame is being removed, and what is coming is not just a return to where you were before. The restorer does not just replace what was taken. He brings the full harvest from every year that felt empty. If today's message reached you, save this video. Come back to it on the days when the lost years feel loudest, and share it with someone who is grieving years they believe are gone forever, because they need to know. Those years are not gone. They are in the hands of the God who said, I will restore. And He has never broken that promise yet.